Good morning, Art, Beauty, Equilibrium podcast family. Coming to you live from Los Angeles, episode 257. Let's get into it. Sports update. Man, I guess the Yankees have found, what is it? The magic touch, the magic bat, whatever, man. They have came up and found or made this so-called torpedo-looking bat where all the weight goes right where you hit the ball. And first game, they had what?
A record 9 home runs.
But the first 3.
Everybody, yeah.
Yeah, it was like either the first 3 or the first 6 at bat knocked them out the park. This is amazing. So I guess, be on the lookout for this bat. Everybody's going to be using it real soon, and it's going to cause a lot of agony and turmoil for the pitchers because there's nothing you can do about it.
And the rules are kind of vague in that sense that it doesn't really say you can't do it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. It's like they're cheating, but they're not. But they're cheating, but they're not. So, I don't know. Chat, what you guys think about this new bat? I think it's kind of cool because now, we will get more runs and higher scores. So then it'll be a little more exciting. Because, like baseball is a slow sport, right?
Right.
And, what makes the game really like gets exhilarating is home runs and stolen bases. And so once we get more of those, more home runs, I think it's going to be
a picture of the bat up there.
It don't even look that big. I wouldn't be able to tell.
It looks just larger, not on the end, but where you would hit the ball, like a bowling pin.
Yeah, I see.
More so than, yeah.
I see.
You wouldn't think that difference would be that significant where you could set a record.
I tell you what, I'm definitely going to get one for the house.
Torpedo bat on the intruder.
Look, I already got enough in my house. Come in if you want to. Boy, I would love to swing that at your head.
And they fighting again.
So they said that the bat is still up to standards, but all they did was put all the weight where the hitters hit the most. So
that is, hey man,
crazy.
Shout out to the engineers. Shout out to the technology. Hey.
Hey, facts.
It's even more embarrassing.
Brandon says it's even more embarrassing. You need to invent new equipment after getting embarrassed in the World Series.
Oh,
yeah.
I see you, Brandon. Oh, you hit. That was nasty work with that one. Oh, I feel you, Brandon. I feel you. Shout out to Brandon.
Necessity is the mother of invention, right?
Hey, yeah.
Exactly.
Hey. But, their disadvantage is, of course, everybody's going to get this bat now.
Yeah, so, okay.
Everybody's getting this bat.
Thank you.
The Dodgers, the Mets, I'm going to get this bat. You going to get this bat. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it might get banned.
Why? They can't.
I'm just saying they could clarify the rules a little bit.
Man, if they
totally
that would be
That's
whack
what I'm saying,
though.
but it's clearly an advantage. Like, you know
But
what
it's
I mean?
not. But if everybody has it, then it's not an advantage.
Everybody got to get it.
Pause.
Everybody got to get
Yeah,
it.
everybody should get them. Now that would even the playing field, and even let's just think ahead. Would you want to play against a team who's had that all season?
Let's go. I'm about to get it too, though.
Yeah.
You want to swing at it, right?
Dude.
I gotta slow down.
Everybody
Let me reset. Hold on. I'm talking a little reckless. Let me reset here.
Let's hit them, y'all. Let's hit all of them.
Hey,
I
but
gotta chill.
I think it's fair. If everybody gets to play with the bat, then it's fair.
Yeah, if everybody gets to play with the bat, as long as everybody gets to play with it,
Next subject, bro. 'Cause
he's okay with it.
This is diabolical right here.
Don't want to pick and choose who gets to play with it.
Oh
All
my
right.
God.
Okay, let's move on. A brawl between the Timberwolves and Pistons involving multiplayer players, and it went to the crowd. It
Again?
Yeah, it just happened, and 7 people got ejected.
Hey
Pistons
man.
brawl. Yeah, they gotta. I feel like it's that time to get eyes back on the NBA. He said the bats look uncircumcised.
Really,
I'm
Damien?
done.
That is
I'm done, bro.
hilarious.
Oh my
man.
God. No, but they were fighting again. I feel like the NBA is doing they're doing all right. More people are starting to watch. A couple fights. As long as it don't get too serious,
Yeah.
People
Hey,
got suspended. They said what they said. They did what they did.
they'll all be back,
They'll all be back. They rich.
Yeah.
So
It
they're
could
just
be
ejected
worse.
from that game, right? Nothing else.
I don't.
I hope
I think
so.
some people that
Yeah.
throw punches, they might face suspension, but definitely 7 people got ejected. So then they go back and look and update.
Okay.
the
But
suspension.
going back
That's
to
when-
what
Did
G
any fans
said,
get injured or anything like that?
I'm pretty sure.
did the fans
It
throw
was
blows?
wild. It was pretty wild.
My neck, my back.
Did
my
the fans
neck
throw
and my
blows?
back. So no.
'cause
I
remember
didn't
the
see-
last fight?
No, it wasn't like the Malice in the Palace. It wasn't that bad.
Because
Yeah.
boy, woo.
It wasn't that bad. Not at all. It wasn't no Malice in the Palace. But
It was
yeah.
happening pretty fast on the video that I saw.
All
I
right.
mean, you
Let's.
can't get out of like 10
I
seconds.
will
anyway.
check it out after this
We'll watch it.
podcast.
The thing is, a fan. Some people got shoved. It looked like shoved. You couldn't really tell. Some people might have got a little like choked because it was some stuff that happened
I'm
below
not
the.
laughing.
Wait, but they
below
was choking
You say you're
cats?
not loud?
I mean,
It sound like
not that.
sound like a hearty chuckle. But we're not laughing at people getting choked, though, right?
Of course not.
Of course
Absolutely
not.
I mean, depends
That's
on who
not
it
funny.
Not
is.
even funny.
That's not hilarious.
Depends on who it is.
No, but like once you get out the way of the camera, that's probably where you do all your
Oh yeah,
sinister
absolutely.
acts.
Yeah.
once you realize that camera's not there. So
Right.
yeah, they're not the Lakers though. Ooh, yeah. Moving on. Due to the rising living costs and wage stagnation, a 6-figure salary once considered a marker of wealth now barely covers classic expenses for many. And in some states, even $200,000 in income is considered middle class.
Man, this is crazy. Because one, there's still people. The majority of the country is still making around 50,000.
Listen, this is so I'm gonna add one more stat with this. They said 200,000 in some states is middle class, right? And then only 12% of Americans make 200,000 or more. So just put that into perspective.
12%.
That's not even middle class. So how is that middle class?
Yeah.
If only 12% make it and up. It's just letting you know that things are getting real bad as far as affordability, because 12% is already like
Man, all I
that's
see,
the top of the top,
all I see is trouble.
Yeah.
It's gonna do this again, like in 08.
Yeah, and like
It's gonna.
and like they said in the chat, Brandon just said our state is one of them for sure.
Yeah,
New
right.
York, California are for sure the ones where $200,000 is no longer even middle class.
Right.
That is
You
crazy. bro.
you are still considered like lower class even if you're making $200K.
That is
Right.
crazy.
So when the wage stagnation doesn't catch up with, regular everyday expenses, then this is why this huge gap is created, right?
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I
Damon,
just
pay off
wanna-
your debt in the
You
chat.
need to do
You're right.
more than pay
Right.
off your debt. I agree with Damon. Yeah, please pay
Right,
off
that's
your
a
debt.
good point, but I do want to say too, just as we always talk about every episode, basically, we kind of touch on a little bit about this, but there have been like other things happening in the economy, like a lot of layoffs, a lot of
Right.
people raising wages, but not enough to cover the cost. and also a lot of companies taking on not like hiring new people and having the same standard of or more of work for people who work, you know, in the workforce, whatever, and also the rising cost of everything that we need every day. So that's one of the things that contributes to that. But anyway.
Oh, yeah, you're
right.
absolutely right. And then also, it's a lot of resettling going on as things get restructured business-wise because of all these disruptors that are coming in with robotics and AI. You know, certain sectors have to. It's a lot of shifting going on.
And automations that
yes.
are not including humans.
And it's only
Yes.
looks worse
In the
because as future goes, as the near future passes, and these things actually get rolled out and implemented into different markets, there's going to be less demand for low skilled workers. And,
we talked
and
about
then less demand for just humans. Period.
Yeah, we talked about drivers last week. Like, once they start, taking the drivers away, that's a big percentage of most males' income. You know, once you take away drivers, it's gonna be a wrap. It's gonna be real shaky out here, real shaky. Yeah, but
All right, moving on. Perfect segue.
Marvin Sapp went viral for instructing ushers to close church doors until the congregation donated $40,000, sparking debate about the appropriateness of his fundraising methods.
Close the door.
That dude was crazy, because
So this happened last year, actually, but
this happened last year.
This happened in last summer, and the clip just went viral. And he's since come out and spoke about it, and he said he's been getting death threats behind it. And I just felt like, you know what? Hey, man, death threats is a bit much, but
Oh yeah,
I was thinking to myself, I don't care where you at. If you're in church, if you're at a business meeting, when people start talking like that, it's time to get out of there, man.
yeah, man.
I gotta go.
You're not gonna hold me hostage.
At
Do they
all.
let people go if they lock the doors? Is that allowed?
He didn't lie. He said close the doors.
Okay, good.
But that still
that's
implies
good
like,
clarification.
hey, and we not leaving, kind of.
I know. Yeah, I mean, I know that he wasn't like being aggressive in the sense of like kidnapping people, but you know what I mean?
I hope not, because that right there
Never could have
is
paid it.
definitely-
AJ is.
it's definitely a thin line. But boy, look here, look.
You getting
here.
out of there?
Man, I would have stood up, looked at him dead in his eyes, turned around and walked straight to the door. And if anybody would have stopped me, I'm suing. We talk about a church. They got a lot of money. I'm suing.
I feel you. She said, ain't nobody locking me in nowhere.
Evidently, they needed more money, so.
Hey,
Church ain't jail. I hear you, man.
yeah,
We
I'm
don't know how
suing.
much that church light bill is.
And he said 40,000. And then to go to the point where you calculated it, because he said, it's 1,000 of y'all in here. It's 1,000 of y'all online. That's 2,000. I need $20 a head. Then he told the people on stage, if you on this stage, I
Rub
need
me
100. Yeah. And then to me, the most insulting part to me was when he said, when my late great wife was here, 40,000 was lunch. So I was like, oh no.
Oh no,
I'm not gonna be pressing me, locking the doors, and then for lunch money.
Oh no, you're not about to say that to me.
Way too
champ.
aggressive. And
Times are hard.
and he did say, I may have been a little too aggressive, too assertive. And I'm like, you think? Locking the doors, man?
I'm not
But
condoning.
I'm with everybody in the chat, though. You're not holding me.
Yeah, I'm not condoning the
Did
the
they
death
get
threats.
it though?
But yeah.
And then he said, bring the plates up here, up front. I want to see. I don't even want this to be discreet.
But did they get it though?
Did he? I don't know. Did they get it?
We need an update.
We need a serious update. Did they hit their numbers?
Boy.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's not church. That's not church. That's
No.
not God. Boy. No.
That glaze in his eye, jokes and realness. He was serious as a and pimp like. Hey, you know what? That tone, it just doesn't make me feel good. I feel uncomfortable.
I'm telling you, I would have walked out and went to the door, and the first security guard that had touched me, I'm suing. What? Oh my God.
I
You'd have been a
would've-
church adjacent.
That's when we're gonna test the structural integrity of your building.
Yeah.
we getting up out of there. Man. You're not
If you
keeping me
are
in.
enjoying this podcast right now, you're looking, chatting, talking, watching, in the future, whatever, please like, subscribe, and don't forget to share with somebody. Thank you.
Yes.
Shout out to Chi Chi. She said I would have called the police and said I've been held hostage. Yeah.
Right.
Hey.
That's right, Chi Chi. I am not mad at you, boy.
What if you? Yeah.
Look. Man, moving right
Yeah.
along, because I'm getting...
23andMe customers face unprecedented privacy breach as court orders their genetic data to be sold to the highest bidder
See?
to pay creditors. This could set a dangerous precedent for future
man.
of genetic privacy.
Oh, man, that's
Now,
not
look.
good, bro.
No, not at all, man. Like, this fine print stuff, I was shocked at this decision. Like, because your genetic your genetic information, your genealogy, your DNA, you think you can learn a lot about somebody from the DNA. You can learn about, first of all, I feel like at the very least, that could be a violation, because aren't you going to know about diseases and certain traits, things that you're susceptible to?
Right.
Like, why is that allowed to be shared to pay a creditor? And that just puts the pressure on all genetic analysis companies moving forward, because you're going to have to address that. You're going to have to guarantee
Facts.
customers that under no circumstances will your information be compromised, and then how much faithful they have in you, because they're selling all the data.
Yeah, that
And I
is
will say
not cool.
This is developing. This is not finalized, but they didn't say it wasn't okay to do it. So they may have grounds to sell the information, which a lot of people, we talked about it last week too. We did say that people are calling for people to go in, delete their data. But how do you get your genetics back once
No,
you
first of
already
all,
turned it in?
and let's be real.
Yeah, you can't
think
delete
You
that.
think if you
Yeah.
right click something,
You
your
can't delete
genetic
that.
information is
Yeah.
gone?
It's
That
saying-
went to a laboratory. That's not online.
I do want to say
only.
they did say that they will still adhere to their privacy policy. So I hope that it's ironclad, their privacy policy.
Nah, it's gonna be another you walking
is?
around somewhere, somewhere else.
Oh,
That's what's gonna
I
happen.
mean, they already say we have a twin, right? So
Nah, man, they got your genetic information. Because you got to think, who's going?
Mimi said, "Stop sharing your spit, man."
Listen,
Look, that's,
hey, hold on.
That's
now.
too much of that
Hold
going on anyway.
Hold on.
That's a whole
Hold
nother
on now. Let's-
conversation, Mimi. Shout out to Mimi.
Let's slow this down a little bit.
Stop sharing
No
your
need
spit.
no need to shut everything down. Okay? It's not. Yeah.
Whoa, George went left.
Let's walk this back a little
Oh,
are we still talking about? Hold on.
Mimi said, "Stop sharing spit."
What are we on? What are we on?
bit. Hey, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, all right? No. No, but
Oh my God, that is
But
hilarious.
seriously, you got to think about who wants to buy this and why would they want to buy it. That's what you got to think about. If it's up for sale, that
I know
means
a
it
couple
has.
people that might want to buy this.
That means
but-
it has value,
They
right?
also said several law enforcement and government agencies are interested. So.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
to arrest people.
Yeah, that's one of the places. Yeah,
Child support. You know, genetic testing to see are you the father. Like all that can be unlocked with this data.
man.
So
it's
Matt, you could solve cases,
too many
crimes.
cases. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
You see how old boy got
I didn't even think
caught?
about that. That's
Remember old boy got caught at the pizza parlor?
Yes.
Man,
So
through
imagine
his
if you
son.
just yeah.
Yeah, man.
If you're a criminal, don't go trying to find your relatives.
Speaking of DNA, I mean, this is so not on the subject, but let me just switch cases. I just want to shout out Tanner Adele. She was featured on Beyonce's recent album, country music singer, biracial country music singer. And she was sharing a story how she was basically adopted. Her mom gave her for adoption when her dad was stationed somewhere. He was off base and deployed, basically.
Oh, military.
And right, exactly. So she had an affair with another man, and gave Tanner Adele up for adoption while he was on post somewhere. Never told anybody about it. And she found out later in life that she was really the dad's biological daughter.
Ooh.
So
That's tricky.
that is so, that's something that's just, I mean, I really want to say,
Previously on Maury.
I just appreciate her for sharing her story, but even more how she's such a beautiful person, has resilience through all of that, because that's
Right.
something that's life-changing.
And she makes bangers too.
Yeah, exactly.
Her songs, they go.
So shout out to Tanner.
She got all that pain.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
So
gotta have that pain to make them songs, bro.
exactly, and that was due to like DNA testing and stuff like that. So anyway, I just wanted to say that in those instances, that's why some people, to answer your question,
Yeah.
seek out companies like this, because we want to know. We want to know, like, the backstory on us, our health, our lineage. So anyway.
Wait, you said Pornhub buys. Are you? Hey, hold on, Michael. Are you for real?
Wait, what?
Michael said Pornhub buys 23andMe data. I don't even want to know why. I'm scared. All right.
Where does it? I didn't even get that in my chat.
Hey, yeah, they probably banned it. Yeah, but let's move on. But Mike, yeah, confirm that, please, if you can, in the chat. AI generated art raises copyright concerns. AI tools like ChatGPT can produce images in the style of renowned studios such as Studio Ghibli, leading to ethical debates over the use of copyrighted materials without consent. So this is interesting because you know how like an art, perfect example. Let's take the Jordan.
Oh, he said imagine. Imagine is
Okay, so the Michael Jordan shoe, you know how they said some of the inspiration came from like a car,
Right.
That's kind of like what ChatGPT is doing. So I feel like, can computers get inspired or is it just copying? Because they take in elements of popular anime and cartoons, and then you can animate your video to look very similar to that. And that's where they're saying it's coming into copyright, a gray area, because if I take your style and add it to something else, am I stealing something from you that you own? If it's a style, but it's not the exact characters, it's not the exact image itself, but clearly this style is your style.
well.
That's
I mean,
the gray area.
I
we're
think
getting
that's
into.
very similar to music,
Right.
because you take a beat, or no,
Man, that's exactly where I was headed with that.
you take a beat or a certain snippet, people get paid for that. So
And,
yeah,
and I feel like just looking back at how much of some of the best artists borrowed their whole style from
Picasso.
Africa
Yeah,
and other areas, and how many times has art been taken, rewrapped, repackaged, and presented to the world as if new. So this gray area, I feel like, is just now happening to other people. And now
Yeah.
it's becoming an issue when it's like, yeah, AI is a little different, but if you open up that book for copyright infringement, then a whole lot of people gonna have to pay a whole lot of people, because everything is inspiration, right? When it comes to art.
you got it. You have
Very
a
few
good
people
point
are
there.
inventing brand new things. It's only so many colors. There's only so many sounds.
And it happens in fashion
all the time, all the time.
So,
There hasn't been anything new. It just
Right.
the wheel has just been reinvented over and over and over again. So yeah,
All right, moving on. Utah
trash.
may cut barber training to just 130 hours. Supporters say it makes jobs easier to get, but critics worry about
Quality.
the quality and safety.
yeah.
This bill moving forward with an ongoing debate. So imagine right now
So
in
the
California.
bill hasn't passed yet, right?
No, but like I said, all states, I feel like the hair industry is under
they're
a microscope. And just like Arizona is trying to deregulate where you don't need a license to do hair, now you have Utah trying to cut hair training down to 130 hours. When just in comparison, when we went to school, we had to go 1,600 hours.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
10% of what we had to do.
Less than 10%.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I had to do what, 1,200 jerry curls. Like, come on now. Like, the training is crazy.
Yeah, it's more. Now, don't get me wrong. It's more intense and it's longer than what the police officer have to go through.
I wanna say
right?
that it
and
did
I think
pass.
that it is excessive, but yeah, I don't think 130 hours is efficient at all.
But it did say that the bill passed its first go round with a 5-1 vote, and
Oh.
so they have to go through further deliberation on the Senate floor. But it's looking like it's going to pass. So that's why these.
Chi said I had to do 2,100 hours in Iowa. Hey, that's crazy.
Whoa.
You shouldn't have to take no more training ever.
Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some
Yeah.
people say it's safety concerns. Some people are citing schools are being money hungry and basically like charging exorbitant amounts of money.
That means if you go full time, you can be done in less than a month.
Right.
Yeah.
So on the contrary, they said that the shops that are hiring the people, they're saying that they're having a lot of issues.
I can imagine.
A lot of
You a month
issues.
in, so
Right.
just to compare, just to break it down again and put this in perspective, when we are going through training, even as whether you're going for your full license or as an apprentice program, your first month you're going over basic safety and sanitation. No
sanitation.
procedures, no chemical, nothing. You're going over the basic procedures and sanitation methods.
So
Safety 101.
So how are you going to incorporate that? So they probably just going to go over bookwork and that's it, and then you got to
Send 'em
figure
out
out everything else on your own.
Right.
But
Like
there's
how-
too
how
many
do you-
chemicals and
Yeah.
everything involved. So
Yep. Yep.
That's how you know what they're, that's why I say it's under a
they
microscope.
trying to
and
get
under
us,
attack.
y'all.
Yeah, they're saying they're compromising quality,
Stop
safety,
hating.
and insufficient training.
All right, let's
That's-
move on.
that's
We still got to
craziness.
cover these last topics. Gen Z facing financial strain. A study reveals that 38% of Gen Z individuals report experiencing a midlife crisis due to financial instability, mental health issues, as career uncertainties exacerbated by economic pressure. So they are pretty much going back to that, that topic earlier when you talk about the money in a country where $200,000 in some states where only 12% of the population makes that,
yeah.
it's still considered lower class. And then you have this generation that's now coming into the workforce and trying to provide for themselves and their families. They like, how is this going to happen? How is this realistic? How is this actual, my life? How can I make these ends meet if I have to make so much money? How do you do it when only 12% of the people are doing it, and that's what's required for you to be able to live comfortably?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, so I just want to just bring to light that Gen Z are 13 to 28 years old. So if they're having a midlife crisis right now,
Right.
They're gonna be screwed when they get our ages.
okay.
Oh my God, it's gonna be a
Because
wrap.
you think they're starting to experience, like, that's the age when you're making a transition from
preteen to adult. Yeah,
preteen to adult, and then moving into
so
like
can
real,
you still call
real
that a
adulthood.
midlife crisis then?
It's not. It's a midlife crisis in the sense that
It's damn near like a pre-life
it's a crisis.
Yeah.
You said a pre-life crisis.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, before you know what I mean? If you're 13, you're not even starting,
Yeah.
like, your real, like, adult life.
You looking at it like
You know?
a summer job used to come up with a summer job. I don't know how much damage a summer job can do anymore. Man, you have a little cool summer job back in the day, man. You could tear them all down, man.
hey man, I
Right.
used to
You'll tear them
love-
all down. You go in there
Shout
and
out
just
to
I've always had a job.
SYEP, Summer Youth Employment and Training. Okay?
yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
All right, moving on. Shema.
Okay, so this recent past weekend, the AC Bill Brew, named after Madam AC Bill Brew, had and celebrated their 50th anniversary of the library. Basically, she was an entrepreneur. She was the first Black radio host. And she basically has a cultural hub at the AC Bilbro Library in LA. They celebrated her, all of her accolades. And as you know, this library is named after her. And that's one of the only libraries in LA County that has a up and thriving African American cultural hub built into the library, and they have things that you can go over there and experience. They have activations, so if you get a chance, go over there and check it out. Like I said, it just made 50th anniversary, so go promote their cultural hub over there. They have activations, like I said, and it's an experience. So we want to keep these libraries up and running. So go to your local library and check out a book. Sometimes people don't just shop on Amazon, but also make sure you walk in and visit the cultural center.
Facts.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, y'all got me laughing in the chat room. Mimi said, "What they in a crisis about? They water bottle getting lost, their pajamas not being washed." Hey, you know what? They got some real issues, man.
Yeah, they don't have to go get it they didn't have to go get it. With our generation, we had to figure some stuff out. We really did. We had
They
to.
got to figure out a lot too, though, because
Yeah.
the world is different now, and how do you make so much money at such a young age? It's impossible. Like just getting a studio apartment, costs so much money. One
Bro,
bedroom.
Dude, the one bedroom across from where I stay, they want 3 bands for a 1 bedroom. I
That's
was
what I'm
like,
saying.
Yeah.
That's where the
I
crisis.
said for the 3.
That's where the crisis
Jesus.
comes in.
And also they're considering living with each other. We talked about this so much. But,
Like they
people-
did on Friends, and then
Yeah,
well,
people
let
are
me say,
really-
living single.
People are really like living together to try to make it work. So, and they don't see themselves coming out of that situation.
All right. That's our show for today. Remember, our show is sponsored by Honey Nut and Cocoa hair care products. You can pick those up online at www.artbeautyequilibrium.com.
Yes.
Or inside of our shop, you can come pick them up in person
Yeah.
at Art Beauty Equilibrium Barbershop and Salon.
Yeah, we still have promotions for that, y'all.
Still got promotions.
And coming up, shop our TikTok shop.
Yes,
Oh, hello.
TikTok shop
Yes.
will be up and running very soon. So we'll have some more information for you next show about that. Got to move to Utah.
No, you don't.
All right, y'all. Have a good one.
Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, y'all. See y'all.
Kick it up.